Now for our Sunday specials, where in Lagos, another tragic reminder of the dangers lurking on our roads has left many in shock and mourning. Well, recently, a gas explosion at Otedola Underbridge triggered a catastrophic blast that led to loss of lives and property after a gas-laden truck suffered a brake failure. Senior correspondent Sharon Ijason tells us more.
At around 7 p.m. West African time on March 11, 2025, a tanker transporting gas fell on CMD Road just before merging onto the Otedola Bridge section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. A building was damaged, 12 vehicles were wrecked, more than 3 people sustained injuries, and 4 lost their lives. Following this incident, TVC News visited the home of Rotimi Olaleye in Magboro. Upon arrival, we learned that he was buried a day after the tragic event. I met with his children, who revealed that they are now orphans, having lost their mother 5 years ago.
I actually lost him by this time. It's actually a very bad thing now, because I lost my mom in 2020. So he's the only person sponsoring me and my brother since 100 level. So it's very bad to lose him.
A very happy family of 5. So I now left with my siblings, just 3, in just space of not up to 5 years. Now everything changed from 5 to 3 now. It's so painful.
Rotimi Olaleye's daughter, Adeshewa, a 100-level student at Lagos State University LASU, was in the middle of an exam when she received the heartbreaking news. Tearfully, she narrated what her father meant to her.
My dad is someone that I talk to every morning. Anytime I have exams, he's always praying for me. So I'm meeting every fatherly love since that day. I don't hear him this morning, so I'm like something actually missing from my body. I wish I can see him and talk to him face to face again. Like I want him to call me on his phone. Talk to him.
Research shows that between October 2024 and March 2025, more than 300 people lost their lives due to fuel tanker explosions. Yet, no one is ever held accountable. Some of the recent accidents include Enugu State, Eastern Nigeria. On January 27, 2025, 18 people lost their lives due to a tanker explosion. In Niger State, Northern Nigeria, on January 18, 2025, an accident claimed 86 lives and left dozens injured. Agbo, Delta State, on January 5, 2025, a tanker explosion killed 5 people after the driver lost control. In Jigawa State, Northern Nigeria, in October 2024, a tanker explosion resulted in over 150 fatalities. During an interview with the president of NATO, Yusuf Uthman, he highlighted key challenges in the transportation sector, including the use of fake vehicle parts, untrained tanker drivers, and poor road conditions.
Of meetings, but the last one was the one which some decisions were taken, and of course they said each vehicle must have speed limiting device, and of course the driver must be trained and retrained. The vehicle must be inspected at least twice a year, and these safe to load, safe to travel policies must be in place in conjunction with the Federal Road Safety Corps. At the same time, also, any vehicle that is loading anything above 60,000 liters, will stop loading from 1st of March. By now, they have stopped loading. Any vehicle that loads above 45,000 is scheduled to stop loading by 1st October. All this is in an effort to ensure that the volume of the content of each vehicle is reduced. so that the chances of having a large volume in case of spillage is reduced.
As Nigeria's commercial nerve center, Lagos remains a critical transit hub for the loading and distribution of petroleum and gas products. The State Commissioner for Transportation reaffirmed the government's commitment to collaborating with stakeholders to enforce stricter safety protocols and regulations.
8 hours ago with FRSA to try and see how well we can make our operations a lot more tidier and get a more safe road for people to fly. I don't think any consequence can bring back the 4 lives that were lost. I don't think any consequence can replace all the vehicles and properties that were damaged. I think the focus more is on not letting it happen, which is what I think we should focus on. Of course, there are consequences. If it's just an accident, your trailer will be impounded, the owner of the trailer will be prosecuted. All of those things, they are there, to mitigate all of the accidents that we're seeing. But it becomes insignificant when lives are being lost and things are a lot more worse than what we're trying to say.
For the children of Rotimi Olaleye, now orphans, and many others affected by the incessant tanker explosions, the hope remains that they would receive the necessary support. They also expect regulatory agencies such as the Federal Road Safety Corp (FRSC) and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA) to live up to the responsibilities.
The effect of the tanker explosion that occurred in Enugu State, Niger State, Lagos State, and some other parts of the country still lingers on. Citizens are, however, calling for increased campaign awareness towards people understanding the dangers of tanker explosion and also adhering to safety protocols. Sharon Ijason, TVC News.
Indeed, public safety is of concern. Now, thousands of people come to Lagos for greener pastures, but how many truly make a profitable life here? In this special report, TVC News Inioluwa Popola looks at some set of people who have made the roadside their base for making money in Lagos.
This is a regular busy day in Lagos. Aside the usual traffic most residents can't escape, another constant presence are beggars on the streets. Either sitting on the roadside, chasing cars or leeching on people, this set of people have come to see begging as a source of putting food on their table. One thing that piqued my interest was the number of street beggars. More so daily, the numbers keep increasing. Ikorodu is one of the biggest local governments in Lagos. Now this area is gradually developing and turning into a city of its own. To know why they are into this, I approached some of them, but they were afraid. Now this is not far-fetched, having been hounded several times by Lagos State environmental officials. But I had to convince them not to be afraid. I met with one of their leaders who was physically challenged. He explained that he has been doing this for about 15 years and that the money he gets is little to nothing.
Before, it's people with disability begging money. But today, things have changed. People that you have never expected that they will beg money and they are on the street begging money. Nobody wants to be in the street begging money. Nobody. Madam, that's what I want you to understand. Nobody, unless by force.
He says if only the government can support them to start a business, then they would leave the streets.
In Lagos State, they always saying that they don't want to be seen beggars on the street. You understand? But I agree with them. But what things they want to know is that we now are indigenous of Lagos. You understand? and we are here purposely for that beggar. And we have learned, this is what we learned. If government can provide a good way that at least it will sustain our life, sustain our family, paying our children's school fees, getting what at least we can survive.
I spoke with one of the women who is from the northern part of Nigeria. She says her husband was killed, and since then, feeding has been difficult.
I get 8 children. I don't know as I go take feed them. That's why I just call Lagos. Let me find what I go take help my children with myself. I just manage the do. I don't like it at all. But if you not do business, I don't feel go do a shower. I don't feel put my children, make them enter another place. That's why I just beg. Make I get what I will take, save myself with my family.
She was agitated, having been taken to the police station about 3 times for street begging and asked to pay to be released. She says the money she gets from this unconventional hustle is not enough to start a business.
How much do they get? Sometimes I figure like 1,000, sometimes 2,000, sometimes 2,500. So how much you go chop in the morning? You go chop for afternoon, you go chop for evening. Like small children, I put them go lesson. If they don't go lesson, I go find money give them. Like a lesson money, 300 naira. For food money, I go give them. So I just share them for them. Anyone when I get, I go consider. Sometimes I don't get shishi. Till God give me before I see and chop.
It's quite emotional seeing many of these people who are from the north, begging for alms. And of course, some of the reasons include their husbands have died, some of them are uneducated and don't have enough money to start a business. Despite the government saying they are doing all they can to get these people off the streets, it seems the oppression has yet to reach inside, as many of them still find it difficult to survive on a day-to-day basis.
It was almost getting dark, so I decided to visit their makeshift home. For these people, the 15-minute walk from where they beg to where they call home means nothing to them. Here, over 40 people stay in this confined, dingy room with their clothes all kept in different nylon bags. Where they live is an eyesore. Telling me his story, another street beggar claimed being a vigilante before he was attacked and shot by bandits on his legs. He had to leave his 2 wives and children at home to look for greener pastures in Lagos.
I am a married man with 2 wives and 11 children. Before, I was able to work and bring money. Now, I am disabled and I have nothing to do. That is why I am begging for my family to survive.
He has dreams of survival only if given the opportunity. From the Ikorodu area of Lagos State, I went to Ikotun, another colony of beggars. This right here is where many of them reside, but many of them have started a commercial driving business. I took a ride with one of their leaders in his tricycle. We made a stop at the filling station to get fuel, after which we proceeded to where his people are. He explains how he got to Lagos and how he has been surviving despite being physically challenged.
Before me, I get better something. So say sometimes life is the change. Life is the change. Sometimes you go see person who get money. Now later, or like 2 years, 3 years, or 7 years, the money go back. So now that's why. But before, alhamdulillah, see I go that before I get plenty money, I go Makkah. Come back. No, this is not life.
One of the disadvantages he faces is the constant pain in his leg, which limits his movement. This is a major roundabout in this area, with many touts and street beggars. This is Maria, who has been here for about 2 years. To her, the only way to survive is by being on the streets. She says even though she has never experienced any attack, officials from Alausa sometimes harass and chase them away. That's why she's constantly at alert.
The place I used to live, I ran away after they killed my husband and left me with 5 children. I don't know where my children are. I don't even know what happened to them. Someone is even supposed to give me money, but the person didn't, so I'm left stranded. I don't have a place to stay or sleep. It is God that has been taking care of me.
For years, the Lagos State government have clamored and taken initiatives to eradicate street begging, but the numbers keep increasing. I attempted several times to book an interview with the Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, but all our efforts were futile as he turned down our invitation for an interview. I even visited the ministry and was promised a feedback, but till this moment, no response from them. One can only hope that this report reaches the ears and eyes of the government to enable a more practical and sustainable measures to get these people off the streets and provide a possible means of livelihood for them. Inyolua Popola, TVC News, Lagos.
Quite an emotional story by our correspondent Inyolua Popola, and she incidentally joins me now to give her thoughts on what she experienced in Ikorodu. Inyolua, I can see that the people really had a lot to share with you, what they're going through in terms of how it's difficult for them managing their lives on the street. And even though you try to reach out to the state government, they get to give you a response to this. But when you were on the streets and you got to hear from them, how much of it did you see it? What can you tell us about the experience of you talking to these people, hearing from them? How did you feel, capturing their stories?
All right. So when I first got there, I remember when I got to Ikorodu. I mean, many of the touts, they don't want me to talk to any of them. So of course, I had to meet the head of the beggar, the head of the streets, the beggar there, spoke to him. And of course, it was quite, conversational, and he allowed me to interview them. And, hearing their side of the story, many of them are from the north, like the report said. They're from the north. They don't have so much education. Many of them, their wives or their husbands, have been killed. And of course, their homes are in a disarray. So of course, they have to move to where they feel is safe. And for many of them, they feel Lagos is safe for them. So of course, many of them move. And I feel like, and I noticed that, from what they said, they move in packs. So many of them move to Lagos thinking that, there's going to be some sort of survival for them there. They're going to at least get, even if it's 1,000 per day, 2,000 per day, they're going to get some sort of money for them to at least spend each day. So for them, they live day to day. They live mouths, day to day. Whatever money they get, that's what they use. And of course, from the room that they stay also, all of them share that room together. I mean, I remember one room I entered, like 40 people stay there in that small room. And so that's how they live from day-to-day basis. And for them, they're just hoping. They're just hoping that, state government, come to their aid. And of course, the state government have been saying that, they're going to remove street beggars off the street. They're going to do all of that. But going to some of these places, and even many other places in Lagos, there are still many of them staying on the street, and they have become a constant.
All right, we'd like to engage with you with more conversations in this regarding this issue, but because of time, we have to leave it at this moment. Thank you so much, Inyeluwa Kukwola, for giving us your insights on your recent Sunday special. Well, you can continue these conversations online on our various platforms, on our website, tvcnews.tv, and also on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we're also live at TVC News Nigeria. Many thanks for watching, and on behalf of the team, have a pleasant night rest. I'm Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now.